Hello, and welcome to the Poke Report, where we take a look at highlights from OSU athletics. I'm Geraldine Blaine. The OSU football team traveled to Lawrence, Kansas last weekend to take on the Jayhawks. Courtney Brown has more on how the Cowboys did.
Oklahoma State traveled to Lawrence, Kansas on the Yellow Brick Road this past weekend. The Cowboys might have an inexperienced team, but have not yet had a Big 12 loss. Nice throw from KU Michael Cummings to complete a 51-yard pass to Nick Harwell at the OSU second for a first down. Cummings ran for a 1-yard touchdown in his first start for Kansas since 2012. OSU did not like being down early in the game and decided to get back. Desmond Rowland with a 33-yard touchdown and an extra point by Ben Grogan was good. Cowboys took the lead 10-7 at the end of the first quarter. The second quarter did not look good for the Jayhawks as Grogan had a 25-yard field goal within the first couple minutes. Then Juwan Seals scored a touchdown at the end of the half. Oklahoma State led 20-7 at halftime, but the Jayhawks rallied to tie the game 20-all in the fourth quarter in their first home game under interim coach Clint Bowen. Nerves may be high, but the Cowboys knew just what to do.
It was a key situation. There were key situations in the game that we had to come out and get some stops, and so we just had to focus on our job and play hard.
And that is just what the team did. Junior college transfer Tyreek Hill, whom the Jayhawks avoided kicking to all game, took the 99-yard kickoff return up the Kansas sideline for the final touchdown in the game. The Cowboys beat the Jayhawks once again, 27-20.
This team's been great. They've been super. Their focus has been very good over the last few weeks. They've held up. So far, I don't think they've really run into a fatigue mentally or physically. Everything's been good. They're just they're average and they're learning on the run right now.
OSU will be at TCU today. For the Poke Report, I'm Courtney Brown.
Thanks, Courtney. Here with us today, we have Cody Staton, who is the sports editor for the Ocali. He was recently elected editor-in-chief for next semester. Cody, how do you feel about Dax Garman taking so many hits against KU?
Well, Geraldine, that's really not something that can continue to happen, whether it's in the pocket or if he's scrambling around. The Cowboys are already thin at quarterback with J.W. Walsh out. If Dax Garman were to get hurt, they'd have to turn to Mason Rudolph, who's a true freshman, and all indications are he's really not ready to play. So if Garman's running around, he's going to have to learn to slide, and the line has to do a better job of protecting him. He was sacked 4 times against Kansas, and as I've said, that just can't happen.
What's going to be our greatest strength as we take on TCU this weekend?
I think that'll kind of be a common theme that we've seen throughout the whole season. OSU's biggest strength has probably been on the defensive line. That unit's doing a great job in pass rush and in stopping the run. At the defensive end spot, you've got Jimmy Bean and Emmanuel Ogbah just really having great years. At D tackle, James Castleman and Ofa Hautau are also playing great. Against TCU, the Horned Frogs have a mobile quarterback in Trayvon Boykin, so the line will really be forced to get some pressure on him, force him to make quick decisions, and if they can do that, the Cowboys might be in decent shape.
Now, OSU only recorded 85 yards in the second half of the KU game. What does the OSU offense need to do to stay ahead in the coming weeks?
I think that probably goes back to the first question a little bit. And before the Cowboys can stay ahead, they're going to have to get ahead. In order to do that, they're going to need more push up front, better protection from the offensive line. The O-line has kind of been a weak spot for this team. They have 3 underclassmen starting. This is the group's first year under line coach Bob Connolly. So the line's going to have to give a better push, open up some more holes for running backs Desmond Rowland, Tyreek Hill, Rennie Childs. Also give Garman more protection, more time to throw, and not have him take hits. Against TCU, a very heavy pass rushing team, the Cowboys will have to do that if they want to have any success. And the same can be said for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Cody.
Thanks a lot.
We got to catch up with a sophomore linebacker who's been making plays this season. Austin Knox has more.
Through the 2014 season, the Cowboys have shown a lot of potential, but the team has also shown its inexperience at times as well. Nothing reflects the Cowboys' inexperience more than their defensive secondary. But sophomore linebacker Seth Jacobs has been able to step up and lead the Pokes' young defense. The Arroyo Grande, California native has progressed well through his years at OSU and knows that maturity is key in college football.
You know, I've been able to grow a lot, you know, on and off the field. You know, I've had to.
Jacobs, who has never spent significant time away from home, found that the move all the way to Oklahoma was a big change from what he was used to.
You know, I'm originally from California, so it's been a huge adjustment for me. And, excuse me, it's been growing up and stuff is it's been a good experience overall for me here. So
The move from California wasn't the only adjustment that he had to make when coming to Oklahoma State. He had never lacked playing time during his high school career, earning a spot on the varsity squad when he's just a freshman. But he found himself on the bench in his first couple years at OSU. In his freshman year, the coaches decided to redshirt him. Then in his second year, he still didn't receive any significant playing time, only playing a small role as a linebacker in 6 games. This year, he finally earned his opportunity to start at the linebacker position. Jacobs credits his elevation to the starting job to hard work and improvement through his college career.
there's always room for improvement, and I'm just trying to do the best I can day in and day out each week.
Jacobs and OSU's young defense have made their fair share of mistakes through the season, but coordinator Glenn Spencer says progression is the key.
We're making a lot of mistakes, but it's a week-by-week progression where you're learning from mistakes, and then new mistakes happen, and it's how quick we can get those corrected.
Jacobs has emerged as one of OSU's leading defensive players and is currently tied for second on the team with 31 tackles. For the Poke Report, I'm Austin Knox.
Thanks, Austin. Jacobs has started in all 6 games this season and has recorded 2 interceptions. Oklahoma State will be taking on TCU this weekend. Jordan Burgess takes a look at what OSU will have to do to stop a dual-threat quarterback like Boykin.
By being successful in the early part of their season, the Oklahoma State defense knows they're going to have their hands full with the high-powered TCU offense. There have been many tactics tried by other teams, but the Cowboys know the key is to focus on their specific game plan.
We just have to focus on, trying to do the best we can. We can't really worry about what other teams, how we can watch film and understand what they do and their tendencies.
One of the main reasons for TCU's success is quarterback Trayvon Boykin. Boykin is one of the better dual-threat quarterbacks in the country, and although coaches have their certain ways of dealing with running quarterbacks, there are a few basic principles they all use. First, in order to contain a rushing quarterback, you must rush your defensive ends upfield to keep him in the pocket. The next thing is to designate a linebacker to be what is called a spy. This player's main responsibility is the quarterback. If he starts to run, they should be the first one in on the tackle.
Oklahoma State has faced Trayvon Boykin in the past, but this year it will be a little bit of a tougher task. He can always use his feet, but this year, he can pass.
Getting the ball out of his hand a lot quicker. He's knowing who to go to quicker. He's always had a strong arm, but he seems to be a lot more accurate now.
Boykin's new complete game definitely has the Oklahoma State defense on notice, and they know that they will have to play disciplined football.
You got to play with your best technique. He can make plays downfield with his feet. He has a better arm than he's ever had. And he makes plays with his legs, but he also makes plays with his arm. So it's really hard to be able to play against, especially type of defense they play so aggressive when you're playing man a whole lot. So you got to keep your eyes on your man and be able to make plays downfield.
Boykin is completing nearly 58% of his passes and has thrown 11 touchdowns on the season. He's well on his way to career highs in both of those categories. For the Poke Report, I'm Jordan Burgess.
Thanks, Jordan. The Cowboys thought they caught a break this week when it was falsely reported that Boykin would be out with a wrist injury. However, Coach Gary Patterson said that Boykin would be on the field come this Saturday. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at the OSU women's soccer team. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The OSU women's soccer team faced 2 tough tests this weekend as they surged into second place in the Big 12 Conference. Stephen Lamar has more on these OSU victories.
Not even Mother Nature can find a way to slow down the Cowgirls as they continue to be a force in the Big 12. The weather certainly wasn't ideal as the OSU Cowgirls took the field against the TCU Horned Frogs Friday night, wearing pink jerseys to honor Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The offense had a 15-2 shooting advantage for halftime, and the fierce attack paid off after Kelsey Bass passed Madison Mercado for a header 35 minutes into the half.
Kelsey has the ball wide open, and she has a great foot. She has a great delivery. She always has. So I just, I saw her. We made eye contact. I ran in. She played a perfect ball, and I got on it.
TCU stepped it up and began challenging the Cowgirls' defense. Goalkeeper Rosa Medina was kept busy in the final minutes as TCU continued to challenge the defense. Medina had 2 over 3 saves in the final 2.5 minutes of the game.
She's been very consistent, and she's made those big saves when needed. So, she just saved the win for us there in the last minutes when she made that diving save, so she deserves a ton of credit.
The shutout was an impressive outing by the defense and allowed the team to carry some momentum into its next Big 12 matchup.
Just have to grind out the win. Rosa did a hell of a job keeping it back there, keeping it out of the net, and we needed another shutout. And so we're hoping that we can get another one on Sunday. Maybe not as dramatic as an ending, though.
Sunday's game presented a different stage as the weather was nearly perfect for an afternoon of soccer. The fans came out ready to support their team as they looked to improve their conference standing against the Baylor Bears. The Cowgirls were challenged early in the competition as Baylor attacked and controlled the ball offensively for most of the first half.
They're very direct, a lot of balls in the air and a lot of physical contact, so we told our kids you got to fight and dig in and grind it out.
The defense withstood the barrage of attacks in a slow start and launched their own attack, taking the lead with a goal from Delaney Kiley on a corner kick 36 minutes into the first half. As the defense continued to play well for the Cowgirls, Oklahoma State added on to its lead as Anna Beffer knocked in a long goal to give the Cowgirls a 2-0 advantage. Baylor continued to test the defense to no avail as the defense stood strong, and Rosa Medina recorded 4 saves in her 6th shutout of the season.
0-6 was pretty rough, but we really rallied and we've come together, and our defense has been really solid lately, so it's been awesome, especially going into Bedlam.
The victory moves the team into 2nd place in the Big 12 Conference with a conference record of 3-1-1. The Cowgirls will look to build off the hot streak they're currently on and continue to improve in conference play. For the Poke Report, I'm Stephen Lamar.
Thanks, Stephen. The Cowgirls are now 3-1-1 in conference play and look to carry this momentum into the rest of the season. We're taking a closer look at one of the Cowgirls this weekend to see how she is preparing for the rest of the season. Greg Cimino has more.
Playing defense doesn't fill up a stat sheet, but it's necessary to win games. Coming out of Saatchi High School and helping the Sting 95 club team win 4 North Texas State Cup championships, sophomore defender Natalie Calhoun was highly sought after by Texas and Tennessee. A phone call from teammate Nikki McKnight, who played on Calhoun's club team, got the Texas native to come to Stillwater.
She came on a visit here, and she called me right after talking to the coaches. She was like, Natalie, they want you. You got to come down and visit. You got to go to school with me so I know somebody.
2 months after that phone call, Calhoun, who was considered the 4th best recruit in Texas that year, would visit and commit to OSU. In her freshman year, Calhoun started in 21 of 22 games and was 2nd on the team in minutes played with 2,067. Her play earned her all Big 12 second team honors. Calhoun was named to the Big 12 champion all-tournament team last year after the Cowgirls upset Texas and Texas Tech in the Big 12 tournament. Even as a young player, Calhoun has the trust of her teammates.
She's a really solid player. I love playing next to her. We have really good communication, very confident having her right there. She's just solid.
After an impressive freshman year, the stakes are set higher for Calhoun, who was named to the 2014 preseason All-Big 12 team.
It's kind of nerve-wracking because you're preseason All-Big 12, and then you're like, are you going to make the All-Big 12 team now? So I feel like I have to work 10 times harder to actually earn my spot there.
The Cowgirls have 6 shutouts on the season. Calhoun's defensive mindset is a message that spreads to the rest of the team.
When I go into a game, my first thought is no goals. If they don't score goals, they don't win. And I usually talk to the defense, all of us together, before and just say, hey, our goal, no goals, guys. Don't even let them get close.
You won't see big numbers next to Calhoun's name in the box score. However, it's her job to make sure the other team isn't doing it either. For the Poke Report, I'm Greg Cimino.
Thanks, Greg. The Cowgirls will face the University of Oklahoma tonight at 7. Connor Tomko took a look at how the Cowgirls have prepared for this game.
The Oklahoma State Cowgirls look to improve on their excellent Big 12 start when in-state rivals Oklahoma come to Stillwater on Friday. Coming off a 2-win weekend, the Cowgirls look to keep the momentum going at home. Goalkeeper Rosa Medina said that home games would be important this season, as the Cowgirls will only play 4 conference games in front of their own fans.
These games at home are really important, especially we were going into West Virginia and Texas. That's going to be rough, so we got to get these wins under our belt right here while we can. So, I think we'll be really fired up and really hungry just to get after them, especially in front of our home crowd.
The Cowgirls' fast start in conference play has them believing that a conference championship, something that might have been an afterthought at the beginning of the season, is within reach.
Well, it's very important. We're 3-1-1 in the league, and we're not talking about winning it at this point. But I think if we win Friday, depending on some other results, we might have that in our sights. But we've really been taking it one game and one weekend at a time just to get back on the plus side. So we're going to enjoy this, and Bedlam will take care of itself. It'll be a big game next Friday.
For the Poke Report, I'm Connor Tomko.
Thanks, Connor, and thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Poke Report. Tune in next week as we take a look at how the Cowboys did against TCU and how the Cowgirls did against OU. I'm Geraldine Blaine.